we explored the story of Jesus walking on the water of the Sea of Galilee in the midst of a great storm. Jesus was ministering in his familiar Jewish territory on the northern end of the Sea of Galilee. According to the gospel accounts, 75% of Jesus' earthly ministry took place on this northern end of the beautiful body of water called the Sea of Galilee. Today, Jesus leaves his familiar stomping ground behind and heads for the region of Tyre and Sidon, present-day Lebanon. He decides to extend his ministry of healing across to that foreign country. Lo and behold, he hardly steps over the border when a Canaanite woman runs out to him. Talk about a foreigner, outsider to Jesus and his Jewish neighbors. Look at this person. She's got 2 strikes against her. She is a Canaanite, a heathen foreigner. She is also a woman. No legal rights in those days, listed on the property tax assessments along with the sheep and the goats. This outsider has the nerve to come up to Jesus. She looks from the outside of alienation into the inside of Jesus' potential healing. She wants to know if Canaanite lives matter to Jesus. She comes to Jesus and cries out. We sing it most every week in the Kyrie. Have mercy on me, Lord, Son of David. My daughter is tormented by a demon. We are beggars, this is true, are reported to be Martin Luther's last written words on earth. Christians are beggars for God's grace and help, but do we see ourselves in that way? Do we view ourselves in constant deep need of God's help? This Canaanite woman sure does. Jesus does not respond right off the bat. Maybe he is waiting to see if the woman's need is for real. We don't know the reason. We do know that Jesus' disciples would rather not be bothered with this persistent outsider. Send her away. She keeps nagging us. She's not our kind of gal. She talks with a funny accent. Oh, it feels so good to be exclusive and superior. Life is neater that way. It's easier to shut out than to welcome in. We don't even have to look as far as Charlottesville, Virginia to see exclusivity and privilege. We have it in our very midst. But does the Canaanite woman give in or give up? No way. She kneels before Jesus and cries the Kyrie again, Lord, help me. It seems that Jesus continues to have the slows. Is he testing her sincerity? Is he playing the devil's advocate to make the woman more determined in her request for healing for her daughter? Is Jesus himself grappling with the widening will and mercy of his heavenly Father? He nearly echoes the exclusive comments of the disciples. It is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs. That's hard. The woman even has a response to that comment. Oh, yes, Lord, but even the dogs eat the crumbs that roll off the master's table. In other words, she is hungry, desperate, and needs help for her daughter, and she's not too proud to ask for it. What outrageous and persistent faith from this foreigner. We would expect it from a Jew, but not from this heathen nagger. Barbara Brown Taylor, the great preacher, says this about her. Faith works like a lever on Jesus, opening his arms wider and wider and wider until there is room for the whole world in them, ultimately on the cross. Then Jesus comes around and bestows the grace. Woman, you have great faith. In the Greek, it's mega faith. Your request is granted and your daughter is healed right now. Come follow me. You are in. Your daughter is in. Welcome. Canaanite lives matter. Jesus turns this outsider into an insider. He uses this Canaanite woman as an example for all of us. No one is outside the embrace of God's mercy or the circle of the church's care. There is no person for whom Christ did not die. There is no person for whom Christ was not raised on the third day. So, dear people of God's love, what is our mission? To care about the folks Jesus Christ cares about. Documented and undocumented immigrants, black and white, rich and poor, secularists and fundamentalists, male and female, liberals and conservatives, young and old, gay and straight, everybody. Who is the Canaanite or the outsider in your daily walk? Teenagers abused in their homes because of their sexual identity? The 16-year-old labeled a nerd at the local high school? The child who didn't have as good a time at Vacation Bible School this year because her mom and dad just split up the marriage? The misguided neo-Nazi carrying the torch through the streets of Charlottesville last week? Jesus is saying to us, look, these are my people. Reach out to them. Find a way to have conversation with them. Embrace them. And let us not forget the other outsiders in our midst who don't seem as obvious. I call them outsiders at heart. How about the member who has worshiped here every week for 30 years, but still feels like an outsider because all the fellow members he was close to before have moved away, transferred out, or died? How about the college student who feels like the church doesn't listen deeply to her concerns about the great issues of the day? What about those inactive members who have become outsiders because they have simply drifted away habitually from worship and active engagement with the ministries here? Christ calls us to step out, reach out, listen deeply, and serve these outsiders with hospitality and grace too. In Christ Jesus, there are no outsiders. No more outsiders. The banquet invitation is a blanket one. Under the shadow of the cross, there are no more rejected Canaanites, The power of the cross and the momentum of the empty tomb shattered those terrible divisions and labels. The message of the gospel propels us to live these words from Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Goodness is stronger than evil. Love is stronger than hate. Light is stronger than darkness. Life is stronger than death. Victory is ours. Victory is ours through God who loves us. Victory is ours. Victory is ours through God who loves us. Amen.
Amen.